Hey, welcome to AfterBuzz TV and season 27 of Dancing with the Stars. We had a double elimination tonight. Some nights it was the best and the worst night of people's lives. And what about that kiss, y'all? Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, a little John Denver, y'all. What's up?
Throwback. I love it.
Welcome back to season 27 of Dancing with the Stars, yo. It was country night. I love me some country music. I am your host, Carla Renata, and I am joined by...
Hey, what's up, guys? I am your host, Karla Beltran.
I've missed you guys.
I missed you too.
Oh my God, it's been so long. Hey, everyone, all you guys. I'm Kayley Stumpe.
You kicked us to the curb for a couple of weeks, but you got
seriously.
back. It is all good. It is all good. So, I want to start with you guys this evening to talk about the dances. Let's talk first about John and Emma. They went up first. And they did a jazz dance.
Yes.
So Thank God I'm a Country Boy, which is the song we started out with this evening.
Yes, a little John Denver. I thought everyone did really well tonight. It was so fun. It was such a fun, I don't know, the country music I feel like got everyone like kind of loose, having fun. I think John did well. Obviously, he's truly a country boy, so he felt very comfortable doing this dance. Oh my gosh, the package beforehand was extremely heart-wrenching. We were tearing up a little bit. That was very, very sad. I kind of expected his kids to like maybe show up in the audience. I felt like they were kind of building that up, but that didn't happen. His dance, I thought he did well. What did you think?
For me, I think John was my favorite person for the night. I was very happy that he was the person who opened up the dance just because he is a country boy, he's a country person. So I was really excited to see him, and I feel like he really delivered this dance for me. And of course, like, especially after that package, I really wanted him to stay in longer, and I wanted him to, like, have a really strong performance. I was a little bit afraid that it was going to be a little bit emotional, but it wasn't. He went out there, he did the dance, he had fun, and we had fun watching him.
Yeah, I think this was his best dance of the season. It was really his best dance of the season, and I was really surprised to learn about him being such a awarded country recording artist. I didn't know he had made that many recordings. I did not know that about John Schneider.
A lot of top hits.
I was like, well, okay, John Schneider, you better be like a triple threat up and through here. I was
know.
very excited about that. I didn't write down his scores, so what was his scores?
He got a 25.
A 25 out of 30. Okay, so they did pretty decent, and I think that probably is the best score that he's gotten thus far, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I think that was his highest score.
Yeah, it was a good score, and Len said that's the way to open a show. He had full admiration. Carrie Ann said, tonight you did your best, so emotional, so open, a joy to watch. And actually at the end of his performance, you could see him fully tearing up, and then when he was truly thanking everyone from the bottom of his heart, thanking Bergeron and Len, and then thanking Emma. It cut to Emma during the scores, and she had like a tear dripping down her face. It was just an emotional evening
It
for
was
him.
a very emotional night.
This is the thing I love about Dancing with the Stars. Everybody gets so invested when we get toward, well, not toward the end, but they get invested week after week after week. You know, they become closer to their pros. The pros become closer to the celebrities. Everybody's doing their best. And then that mirror ball trophy, the longer you're there, that mirror ball trophy gets closer and closer in sight, and people start getting excited. So it's always really sad to see anybody go at that point. But moving on to the next couple, which was Ivana and Keo, which actually they have started to grow on me. So, Carla, what did you think about their dance?
Okay, so to be honest with you, at the beginning, like once Ivana came out, I was a little bit afraid. I was like, okay, she delivered an amazing performance last week. She was the Catwoman that I was expecting for her to be. So in the beginning, I was like, okay, like, you know, let's see how she handles this rumba. Girl, she handled that rumba left and right. I was so excited. I was watching this dance. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I love her. Oh my gosh, I still love her. She delivered every single dance move so beautifully, smoothly, sharp. She was there. This same attitude that she came with last week was still there, and she delivered. I loved it. Yeah, she definitely deserved the score that she received.
I agree. She honestly gave me chills, and she was just so her her spotting and her she would move all the way through her entire arm, all the way through her fingers, and every movement. She was just so smooth, and you can tell she really, really trusts Keo and his movements, and she just feels very comfortable with him. Yeah, their connection is very strong, and her legs were perfect. Her toes were always pointed. I didn't see one mistake, honestly.
You know, I agree with everything that you all said. I do agree about her invoking the cat spirit. I think she had a breakthrough last week.
Yeah.
I think last week when she did the whole cat thing during Halloween, she had a breakthrough, and there's no coming back from that for her. So I think she's full throttle from this point forward. It was very steamy, that dance was, and it was extremely clean. Her lines were very thorough. Her toes were pointed. It was just flawless. It was really flawless. And again, as I've said this the last couple of weeks, I'm really glad to see Keo have a partner that's going to take him to the distance.
Yes.
So it's real, and you can see the excitement on his face as he gets closer and closer to the mirror ball trophy.
Yes.
They got a perfect score, the first perfect score of the night, which was
so exciting.
Awesome.
And actually in our chat, Book Movie TV Worm agrees with you, Carla. He said, Book Movie TV Worm says, I'm glad Keo is getting a chance to shine finally.
Yes, I agree with that. Thank you. And let me just give a shout out to the people in the chat room. We love y'all at AfterBuzz TV for the Dancing with the Stars after show. Y'all bring it every week. You always have something really intense. Y'all are intense, you know you are, but you're also right on point, and you keep us in check, and we love you for it. Moving to the next dance, Juan Pablo and Cheryl, and you know, Karla with a K. I know this is your boy, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and start with him.
Okay, where do I begin? Just kidding. Juan Pablo did a dance to Charleston, and let me just say that the timing was perfect. He was amazing. I basically loved the dance.
You just love Juan Pablo. I'm gonna go to Kayley because you're just like, ooh, Juan Pablo.
Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, so Juan Pablo and Cheryl danced the Charleston. I feel like he's just a little too like Latin smooth for like a honky tonk type of dance. Like his hips are just very like, you know,
they're a little loose.
He's a little loose.
He got a little too much oil in his hips.
Yes, exactly. He's very tango. Very tango,
I cracked
less
myself
country.
up, sorry.
I love it. You do you. I just feel like the country song, the country dancing was not fully his vibe. Obviously, he knows all the steps, all the moves, and he like kills it in his facial expressions and everything. I also thought his pants were a little too tight. And I feel like he should have been wearing cowboy boots.
But can they really be too tight for somebody that's Latin? I'm just saying.
I know.
A Latin lover's pants are never too tight.
I know, but I feel like
true.
a more like country, like looser fitted pant would have put him more, I don't know,
On the country
in the
side.
spirit.
See, I personally loved it. I think this was like a different style of country, and in all, like, obviously all seriousness, I personally think he's such a phenomenal dancer. He comes out, he delivers the dance moves, he tries his best to get in the character that he can, that is like given to him, and especially like country, because like he's never danced to country before. He went like line dancing for the first time ever. So the fact that I feel like a lot of the things that he learned while line dancing is what he brought back to the stage, and he was like, oh, I remember this dance move, and I remember somebody did something like that. And I think that was his way of portraying what he learned. But I think overall he did a great performance of delivering a Charleston to a country song.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
apparently the judges agreed because they gave them a perfect score.
They did.
So there was that.
Also in the chat, Roder13 is proving me wrong. They say, have you seen Luke Bryan? His pants are always tight.
That's what I'm saying.
that's true.
That's very true.
These younger country stars. All right. Yeah,
Yes.
I told y'all
Thank
let us
you.
have
You
it. Y'all
keeping
let us
us in
have
check.
it. The younger country star, Luke Bryan always got on some tight pants, but you know, he looked good in them, so there's that. All
Yeah,
right,
I don't
so
disagree with that.
Juan Pablo and Cheryl got a perfect score. And let me just give a side note about Cheryl Burke. Cheryl Burke, whenever she partners with somebody, she always takes them the distance. Always, always, always. I think there's probably been a couple of times where it didn't happen, but it wasn't on her. It was on the person she was dancing with. So I just want to give her a big shout out because I love her.
She's
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love her. All right, next up was Joe and Jenna doing a tango to Burning Man. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all start with Joe, and then I'll add what I have to say about that because I got a lot to say.
Well,
Okay. Sure. We'll start. This was supposed to be a tango, I believe.
That would be the right adjective, supposed to be.
The tango is supposed to be sharp, and this was a very sharp dance. Joe was very sloppy. He looked a little bit more comfortable this week, which I will give him that. I feel like he felt a little bit more like, okay, he is still delivering the dance moves, like he's doing the dance moves. He's not really like going out to the dance move, but I always give him props for actually going out there, giving it a try.
Okay, Kayley?
Yeah.
You can tell he feels much more comfortable. He's actually enjoying his dances, but he always still has that hint of grocery store Joe awkwardness in every movement. And it was hard to tell with the lighting too, all the lights flashing again. But he's trying really hard. I love that he's more confident because in the beginning you could see it on his face, the like anguish and the nervousness and the anxiety. At least now he's more comfortable and having more fun, and at least getting into it. But yeah, the Joe awkwardness is just an issue.
Okay, so speaking of the Joe awkwardness, the biggest issue that I think he's a lovely human being. I think he's a lovely person. Whenever he shows up to do his dance, you can always tell that he's really doing the best that he knows how to do within his capabilities. So I'll give him that. But him stomping around that dance floor like he is Herman Munster, I'm gonna need that to stop. Also, and this dance in particular, it looked like Jenna was just dragged. There was one moment where it literally looked like she was dragging him around the dance floor. I'm like, oh, boo-boo, come on. So I feel bad for him, but the judges gave them a 21 out of 30. I'm like, okay, well, there was that.
Yeah, some sevens.
Yeah, he had sevens across the board. It's like, okay, all right, well, there's that. So now we're up on Milo and Whitney.
Yeah.
Before we do that, should we do a little message?
Oh yeah, we can talk. We can talk about our AfterBuzz fans again, but before we talk about them, let's give them a shout out. Who's in the chat room right now?
Oh my gosh, so many people in the chat room. Nella J is saying, I think at this point Jenna is just worrying about teaching him the choreography.
I know that's right.
Do you want to read some?
No, just read the names.
Jasmine Jones, Bree Will 81, Tara E, Lara Klein. If I say your name incorrectly, I'm sorry. But
thank you so much for your guys' input.
Are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Is my girl Loved by You in the chat room?
I have not seen Loved by You.
Loved by You.
Loved by You, girl.
No,
if
she's
you're
not
not
here.
Girl, Loved by You. If you're not,
yes,
she's right there.
I was like, I know Loved by You is in that chat room. We got to give Loved by You some love because she is there every week. Okay.
She is.
All right. But what else we want to say about our fans at AfterBuzz?
Well, on top of all of that, of course, we want to go ahead and thank you guys for always being here and being so loyal. With that note, you guys, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you. And you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're totally optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Absolutely. Yay. All right. So Milo and Whitney hopped out there with a foxtrot.
Yes.
I think the name of the song was I Was Born to Love You. That's the name I'm going to give it, even if that wasn't a title. I Was Born to Love You. That's what it's called.
Let's do it.
And they hopped out with a foxtrot. I personally thought this was flawless. What did y'all think?
Okay. First of all,
she's like, uh-oh.
No, I just want to start out by saying how much, I don't think I've expressed how much I look up to Milo. I think he is such a dedicated person to whatever he does, whether it's his acting, whether it's dancing, and the fact that he wrote a country song for Whitney, and it was actually really good.
Could he be any more talented?
Yeah, I was like, okay, you sing. He's definitely like a triple threat, like,
oh my gosh,
for sure.
He's amazing.
And I enjoy watching him so much. He's one of the people that I want to see him make it to the top, and he is such a mature and a beautiful dancer. From the beginning, he's delivered this dance. The foxtrot is like, it's a little bit more of like a advanced dance. So for him to come out here and just be so in shape, and like what he was mentioning, that, you know, it's hard because his legs are long and Whitney is shorter, and like keeping the frame and the, like, it's hard to dance with somebody who is taller than you, let alone you being the taller person having to like level yourself to that. So I give him props. I think this was beautiful, and he delivered every single week. He delivers, and I loved it. I think he did great, and I wish he would have gotten a perfect score.
But I think that speaks to Whitney as the pro, because if Whitney were not able to hold herself up and frame herself perfectly for him to not have to go like this to dance with her, then we would be saying something very different in this moment. I think she should get wholeheartedly 1,000% credit for helping him progress as one of the celebrities on the show. Because when he started, remember, he was real gangly. He didn't quite know what to do with his body, and she's really worked with him and taught him how to hold himself up and stay in frame, and look a certain way and pull up his neck, and just be in the moment of the dance, and take on the characters of the dance, and do everything that he needs to do with the dance, right? So I appreciate that. And I know Milo's mom. He is his mother's child. Yeah. And if I haven't said it before, which I think I have, Milo's mom is Cameron Manheim.
Yes.
And Cameron won an Emmy for The Practice, David E. Kelly's TV show, The Practice. I believe The Practice was on ABC. He is his mother's child, and his mother don't do nothing, don't half step through nothing, so he's not gonna half step through nothing.
Yeah. And when he called out his mom when he was upstairs with Erin Andrews, and it cut to her, oh my God, the love between them is just so clear. And she is so proud of him. That warmed my heart.
What did you have to say about
her personality?
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. Like, he was very smooth, confident. He had very perfect arm extensions, I thought, smooth footwork, and he was super light on his feet during this one. And yeah, you could tell, like, it's hard to dance with the big height difference, but they both did a really good job.
Yeah, they worked it out. They really, really worked it out. All right, and they ended up getting a 29 out of 30. I always feel like Milo should get perfect scores. I always just feel like he should get perfect scores. And I just feel like, really, y'all just going to short him 1 point shy of a perfect score? That's just foul.
That darn Lynn.
From Lynn to 10, I'm gonna need you to give him that 10, because he deserves it. Come on now, Lynn Goodman.
Yes.
I'm calling you out on Dance with the Stars after show at AfterBuzz TV. Yes, I am. All right. So the next person up was Alexis.
DeMarcus.
I'm sorry, I skipped over DeMarcus and Lindsay, and they did a Viennese waltz. Let me just say this about DeMarcus before we get into that.
Yeah.
I feel like my little piece of chocolate steel has been melting week after week. He's not really holding up to where he was the first couple of weeks of the competition, and I'm not quite sure what's up with that, but it makes me really sad.
I agree. I feel like he's slowly been getting into his head. I don't know why. You would think as the weeks go by, he'd become more and more comfortable and confident, but maybe he's just getting more and more nervous because he didn't want to leave or something, but I agree with you. You can kind of see it in his face when he's dancing.
And I saw it in his dancing tonight, too. He didn't look like he was having fun. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like he's enjoying it.
It seems like there's something on his mind or something, but
Carla?
I love him, though.
I feel like I felt a little bit opposite about this dance. I think that this was the DeMarcus that I had seen in the beginning. Okay. I think that her letting him lead, Lindsay letting him lead through the dance, her pretty much telling him, like, oh, I'm not moving unless if you move me, is kind of like what gave him this, like, oh, okay, like, I need to guide you. And I feel like this was the DeMarcus that I saw at the beginning, where he's not, like, I agree with you guys to the extent where he didn't progress, but he didn't get worse for me today.
He didn't get worse.
But he's
not. It's like you said,
like he went back to the beginning. Like this performance kind of reminded me, like, oh, like his first performance with us. Like, we loved it and it was beautiful and it was great. But it wasn't like, oh wow, like he definitely came out and he delivered a beautiful Viennese waltz. Like, so yeah, I totally get it.
Okay.
But he was very gentle throughout the dance, which is part of the Viennese waltz.
And the dance was amazing. And Lindsay does such a good job every week.
I think Lindsay, Sharna, Whitney, and Cheryl are my favorite pros. Because they always, I don't know what it is about those ladies, but they always find a way to bring out the best in their partners. They always find a way to do it. I really, I appreciate that, and I admire them for that.
Oh, yeah.
So DeMarcus and Lindsay got a 27 out of 30. Okay, whatever. That's how I feel about that. Okay, now, The couple of the night, honey, Alexis and Alan were up with that samba, however you want to say it.
Yes.
But before we talk about that, let's talk about that kiss in that package.
Oh my gosh, that was
Let's talk about that for a second.
steamy.
So what y'all got to say about that?
I mean, I have some news about that later on when we talk about our news. But before we get to there, I was shocked to see that. I don't know. I feel like it is a little bit played up for the show.
You think?
I think a lot of people think the same, especially because last week
They said that in the chat room a lot
last
week.
week we talked about it, and Alexis kind of put her heart out there, and Alan didn't reciprocate.
No.
Yeah, it was more like, and I feel like this week he was like, oh, I feel like I need to say something so that she doesn't look bad on air. Like her saying, like, she expressed that she likes me, and then, like, I didn't say anything type of deal. But, I mean, they kissed, so that's a
And the fact that they had her tell her feelings last week, and then they saved his response for this week, it's all very produced.
Yeah. But I love to watch her dance. She does her thing. She's very entertaining.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about them doing that samba?
I loved her samba. I really enjoy. I think in the beginning we were also a little bit like about Alexis because she wasn't really coming out. I think she was a little bit shy with the TV audience. But now that she's also another person that broke her shell, and you can tell that she's really comfortable with like dancing, and she's also very comfortable with Alan, which you could totally tell on the dance floor. So she just goes out there and she delivers, and I think she was really on beat especially for the samba, and I enjoyed it.
Okay, well, they ended up getting a 29 out of 30. I thought that was adequately scored. Did y'all?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was adequately scored. But, honey, that kiss, I'm just saying, there's
I know.
a lot going on.
I know.
So we'll hit this last one, and then we'll hit some news, and then we'll do a little throwback.
Well, are we going to talk about the group dances?
No, we're going to do Bobby and Sharna first.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about the group dances after we do our
Let's
throwback.
do it.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So let me just run it down for you. We're going to talk about Bobby and Sharna, which was the last couple of the night to dance. And then we're going to talk about some news. And then we're going to do a throwback. And then we're going to talk about the group dances before we go into who got eliminated for the evening.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm here all night. Thank you. All right. So Bobby and Sharna did a Viennese waltz with Chris Jansen, one of Bobby's friends, singing "Only Fools Rush In," the old Elvis Presley song. I love in his package how he was like, "I'm not going home, but home is coming to me." I was like, "Don't speak too soon." The last time somebody talked about not getting eliminated, they got eliminated. Remember that earlier this season?
Yeah.
Tanashi said something about, Brandon said something about elimination, and they got eliminated. And I'm like, don't do that. You don't want to curse yourself.
Yeah, don't put that out there.
What were your thoughts about that Viennese waltz that they did, you guys?
I love that song.
Yeah, the song is beautiful, and I don't know that I was paying a lot of attention to the dancing for Bobby tonight, because I just really loved how both him and Sharna looked on the dance floor together. And I think it's so cute the way that he looks at her and he's like smiling. You could tell that he was enjoying the dance. You could definitely tell he was nervous because of the frame. I feel like the frame is definitely a dead giveaway when he's just like this.
Yes.
But overall, I think it was I thought it was a beautiful dance just because I really loved how they flowed together, like right there.
Yeah.
Look at how close. It was like a very heartfelt dance, and I enjoyed watching that.
Tammy in the chat agrees with you. She says, I personally like Bobby, but his shoulders can't stay down, and that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
His shoulders are so tight. He's very awkward. He's just being Bobby. I feel like he's not evolving throughout the weeks like some of the other dancers are, and they're actually becoming actual ballroom dancers. I feel like he's just still... he's having fun and he's so fun to watch, but he's just like awkward Bobby.
Yeah, he has a huge fan base, which is one of the reasons why him and Joe are still there. So there's that.
Yeah.
And I feel like what happens with him and his shoulders is he goes to breathe, because he doesn't breathe through his diaphragm. He breathes like this. Yeah. And I think that he'll go to take a breath and his shoulders just never come back down. If you watch him dancing, you can see that. You'll see him go. And then his shoulders never come down, and because his shoulders don't come down, his neck doesn't stretch, and he is not lengthening his body. So there's that.
Yeah.
But I felt like you did, Carla. The dance was very sweet. It was very romantic. And I feel like he tries really, really hard. And I think as an audience member, I can appreciate the effort. Like if he was a butthead dancing the way he was dancing, I think I would feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
But because he's very sweet and he's very earnest, and he drew us in from the very first week. He's one of those. Every season, there's always somebody that's like the quote-unquote entertainer of the bunch, and I think it was him this season. I think he would be the entertainer of the bunch.
Yeah.
And then he announced some news about being a full-time mentor on American Idol this coming season. So I was like, well, okay.
So awesome.
He's killing it.
He really is.
He's having the time of his life right now. I'm like, well, go ahead with your
I know,
bad self.
go Bobby.
They ended up getting a 24 out of 30, and I thought it was fair. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I
was so happy for him. I was waiting for him to get like his highest score of like the competition, only because we're getting towards the end, and I think like the feeling that some of these people get from like getting an 8 or a 9 or a 10, it's like hopefully they get it before they get eliminated is the way that I feel.
You know, speaking of which, I think sometimes when somebody does get eliminated and they get like a really high score, it kind of makes me go like this. So I'm like, do they know something we don't know? Is that why they're giving them a high score? Because it usually happens with somebody that they've been very critical of, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they get these tremendous scores. I'm like, they must be the next ones to get the booty boot boot. Because last week they were talking bad about him, but this week they get that high score. I don't know
gave
about
him
that.
the 8s. He was so happy. Oh my
He
God.
was
His
so,
excitement is so
he's infectious. He's very infectious. All right, so Carla, hit us with a little Dancing with the Stars news. I'm the Carla. I meant Kayley.
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
Carla was looking at me like, what you talking about?
I was like,
Too many KC names. Okay, so I have a few photos. I don't know if we can pull them up. Where's my news? So going back to Alexis and Alan's kiss, I kind of dove deeper into both of their relationships. I know that Alexis had a boyfriend very recently, up until literally a couple weeks ago. According to fan accounts, they unfollowed each other. Ooh. Literally a couple weeks ago. And actually, in the first couple weeks of Dancing with the Stars, her ex-boyfriend was in the audience with her godmother, so he's been cheering her on in the very beginning.
Can you say awkward?
I
That's
know.
Awkward.
So that's all very awkward. The timing of this is kind of interesting. There he is on the left.
Well, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see the picture of them from social media. But for those of you listening, you know, we're talking about Alexis and her situation.
Yes,
that
yes.
has
So
come
there's some
into light
Instagram
or into
photos.
play.
That was him with her godmother, and there they are together, and some kissing photos. So anyway, the timing of all this is very interesting. And we also found out that as of last week, Alan is on some dating apps because he has been swiping, apparently, according to a source.
Oh, okay. All right, according to a source. All right, what else is going on? You better sound like a bona fide journalist according to a source. Yes. This is what the news is I got for this week with this. That's hilarious.
It's true. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, that just made me tee-hee-hee. Okay, so anyway, well, thank you, Kayley, for that news. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So every week, in every episode of Dancing with the Stars this season at AfterBuzz TV, we do a throwback. We try to do it in line with what the theme of the night was. We got off track a couple of times, and, you know, that ain't nobody's fault. It happens. But this week, we are back, and I just wanted to pull up a dance that was one of my absolute favorites. It was from one of the first couple of seasons of Dancing with the Stars with my girl Cheryl Burke, and she was dancing with Drew Lachey, and this was like the original country dance on Dancing with the Stars. It was their freelance dance during the finals. They danced to Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. That's it. I almost inverted it, but it was Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. For those of you watching on YouTube, here we go, and for those of you listening on iTunes, just take a listen. I love this dance so much. I love when he did that jump over her head. It was fantabulous. And those hips are swiveling. Work it, girl. Lift.
Kayley, his pants are loose. They're not tight.
I know, he looks like a real cowboy.
He does look like a cowboy.
They got
Yeah,
down.
they're good.
Yeah,
they
they
were
did.
so
And
good.
They won, didn't
They
they?
won. They won Dancing with the Stars the season that they did this.
Damn.
But this freelance dance, whenever they do the freelance on Dancing with the Stars, it makes or breaks whoever wins. Like you could be crushing it all season long, but if you're
Right, because
freelance,
this isn't choreographed.
if your freelance freestyle dance is not on point, you can kiss that mirror ball trophy goodbye.
Yeah.
You really can. But okay, so we just wanted to pay a little homage to Drew
God, that was
Lachey
so good.
and
Love
Cheryl
it.
Burke for their
The
country
original,
dance
the
during the
OG.
semifinal. The original country OGs of Dancing
Yeah.
with the Stars with Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Now, on to the rest of the show with Team Hey Now and Team Joe Down. The first ones up were Team Hey Now. They danced to 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, and that team consisted of, and let me know, ladies, if I messed it up, Bobby, Milo, John, and Ivana. Did I miss anybody?
Nope.
Okay, cool. I thought it was a really cute dance. I thought it was in sync for the most part, but I was like, I think I was expecting more out of this group, mostly because Milo was in it. Milo and Ivana were in it, so I was expecting them to just like slay all day, but that's not what I got.
Yeah, I don't think the choreography, I think it could have been more interesting and intricate. There was times when they were all at the table, like some people were off timing-wise. Ivana looked so good dancing with the girls. She looked like one of the pros.
She
Yeah.
did. That's why I said they were in sync for the most part. Because there were a couple of times where it was like, it was a little,
Yeah.
it's a little funkaroony.
And it's perfect for Bobby, for him to be in a group dance, because he can be like the token, like quirky one in the back. That worked to his advantage.
Carla?
I feel the complete opposite.
I know you
totally
do.
love this dance. I was enjoying myself so much while watching this. Like, I didn't even know who to like look at because I was enjoying everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, Ivana looks great. She looks like she's part of the girls. The boys are doing their thing, and I loved it so much. I really, really enjoyed it, and I loved every single person in this team. The only person that I would have said was missing would have been Juan Pablo, but that's okay.
We gonna get to him soon enough.
Maybe next time. But no, this group themselves, like they were such a fun group that I was expecting like a fun dance like this. So I'm really excited and very happy that they delivered and that I feel like their scores were they were the real thing.
Yeah, I didn't agree with these scores.
I know.
I didn't agree with these scores,
No.
especially because there was a moment where they literally put Bobby in front of the judges' table, and Lord knows what he was doing. But Carrie Ann was like, "Why would y'all put Bobby right in front of us doing the group dance? Like, why would you even
He's
do
probably,
that?"
like, flossing
And so
again.
when she said that, I was very surprised that they got a total score of 29 out of 30. I was like, "Well, what?"
I know.
I did not.
That was generous.
I did not
Because it was
agree
an
with that.
overall performance.
I know. Len said he loved it.
Yeah,
like, okay.
And
I loved it. I thought it was so
Yeah,
cute.
It was super cute, but
It brought all of their personalities together.
Yeah, it was a great personality dance. They were in sync for the most part, like I said. But I just felt, and I've said this on this show before, a lot of times what we see when you're in the actual ballroom translates different than what we see on television.
TV, yeah.
So in the ballroom, it may have been electric. But when I watched this on TV, I was like, womp, womp, womp.
yeah, Milo milking the cow was hilarious. Though.
Yeah, I'm like, I cannot. So then next up was Team Joe Down. And they danced "The Country Girl" by Luke Bryan. And again, I have said numerous times on this show that I think me personally enjoying the dance has a lot to do with the music selection.
Yeah.
So I was kind of loving this song, maybe because I just like Luke Bryan. I don't know.
Ditto.
But it was Juan Pablo, Alexis, Joe, and DeMarcus in this group.
Yep.
My favorite part of this dance, and I don't even know what this lift is called, but I call it the onion ring lift, where the girls girls were sitting up on top. You know how those onion rings are like in a little circle?
Yeah.
It looked like an
I
onion
love
ring
that.
lift to me. It made me laugh.
It's like a quadruple lift.
It was like I don't know how they rehearsed. I'm sure
Like a
there
pretzel.
I'm sure there were many people that got dropped in the rehearsal process for that.
Oh my
But
gosh, I bet.
it was really cool. It put a smile on my face. I loved it from the first note to the last. And I think it was a much more difficult routine than Team Hey Now's routine. What y'all think about that?
I think this was a very spicy dance. I think that every person in this group was very sexy in general.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, we're all sexy, so let's do a sexy dance, and that's pretty much like what they did. So I didn't enjoy it as much as the other one, just because I like the fun dances, and this one was more of like, oh hey, look, I'm here.
It was a little steamy.
It was
It was a little
sexy.
hot.
So it was amazing. It was like fun. It was like I liked it, but It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, because the beat of this song, it's such a good song by Luke Bryan, but the
Yeah.
beat is a little bit slower when you actually watch people dance to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was extremely steamy and sexy. They did so many lifts, and I feel like the four of them doing their lifts were pretty flawless. Watching them all
Yeah,
together,
it was awesome.
The
That
end,
was so impressive.
I really enjoyed the end of the dance.
Yeah, it was great. I really
loved
liked
it.
them. I liked them. Well, the judges thought that they should get a 27 out of 30. I didn't agree with that. Judging wise, point wise, I felt like it should have been the opposite. I felt like they should have got to 29 and the other group should have got to 27. That's how I felt
I
about
agree.
it. But I was
I
like,
don't.
okay. We know, Carla, we know. But at the end of the night, after it was all said and done, because there wasn't an elimination Disney week and there wasn't an elimination, I think, last week either. No, somebody got eliminated last week.
Yes.
They did a double elimination tonight. So that always makes me sad when they kick off,
Two people.
Two
Yeah.
people. Yeah, she makes me very sad. So in Jeopardy tonight were DeMarcus and Lindsay, Ivana and Keo, and John and Emma, and the ones that went home were DeMarcus and Lindsay and John and Emma. I'm really glad that John and Emma went out on a high note.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that DeMarcus and Lindsay went out on a high note, so to speak. And DeMarcus almost looked relieved. He was like, "Oh, good, I didn't have to do this no more." I was like, "Oh no, you didn't have that look on your face." It was so funny. But I hate to see anybody go. So now this was the quarterfinals tonight. So next week or week after next will be we'll be in the semifinals pretty soon, and that's going to be very intense because the pressure starts to get to people. The dances get harder. The team dances get harder. They start doing those the duos and all that kind of stuff, and it's really difficult. So it's going to be really interesting to see who falls by the wayside after all of that.
Joe and Bobby will be the comic relief for the coming episodes.
So on that note, let's do a little Dancing with the Stars prediction action.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
So, who do we think is going to make it from who's left? So let me just reiterate who's left. So who's left is Ivana and Keo, Juan Pablo and Cheryl, Joe and Jenna, Milo and Whitney, and Bobby and Sharna. Out of those groups, did I miss anybody?
Alexis and
Alan. Who do we think is going to get the booty boot out of that group of people?
I don't know that they're going to, but I'm kind of hoping because there's it's like things like this that I'm like, for example, I love Bobby, and I love watching him, but I wonder, like, okay, it's Dancing with the Stars, which should be seeing like some progress, but I'm like, why is Joe and Bobby still on the show yet we just kicked out like John and
It's their
DeMarcus?
personalities.
The voting,
It's their personalities and that
true.
following. We talked about this earlier in the season that Bachelor franchise, they're
It's
hardcore.
huge.
They
Yeah,
are so
and
Joe.
and they're on TV. They watch ABC. They're already on the network, so that totally helps. But and that's kind of like the way that I'm feeling. I'm just like, oh, I wish I would have like had John and DeMarcus stay, and what probably would have seen like Joe and Bobby leave. Even though I love both of them, like I literally have nothing against them. It's just like I enjoy watching the other people dance more. However, I think that hopefully, or I hope that like next week, nobody like that's like really good leaves. Like I would hate to see like Milo or Ivana or Juan Pablo, like somebody like that go. I would prefer to see like somebody like Joe or Bobby.
So your prediction is that Joe or Bobby will probably be in Jeopardy next week? Okay, Kayley?
because of those judges' scores.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Ivana.
Really? She's going to get eliminated?
I know. I think
Really?
the fans are still gonna save Joe and Bobby. Like it's just unbelievable. And she was in the bottom 3 tonight. And oh my gosh, her reaction when she wasn't eliminated was so sweet.
I know, it was
she
heartbreaking.
Cares so
She
much.
boo-hooed.
Yeah, she cares so much about being on this show, and she's working so hard. And I think she's an incredible dancer, but I don't know if her votes are gonna live up to her staying.
Yeah, I agree with Carla. I think Grocery Store Joe is probably going to get the booty boot. I think he's going to get the booty boot because the further we go, the more difficult the dances become, and I just don't think he can hang. And I don't think that that franchise is going to be able to save him after a while. I mean, I just think that at this point, we're going into the semifinals. You've either evolved or you have not. And it's nothing personal, but this is a competition where a pro dancer teaches a celebrity how to do ballroom dancing. That's what it is. And if you're not evolving and you're not growing, you got to go. You got to
how
go.
it works.
That's just how it works. That is how it works.
Yeah.
So,
but of course, we love all of these people that are on these shows.
cool. And so ladies, what night are we looking forward to next week, theme-wise? Do we know what the theme is going to be next week?
No.
Why are you giving us Jeopardy music? That is hilarious. All right.
What did they say? Did they say at the end of the show?
I missed it. That's why I asked y'all.
No, I
Ask
don't
in
think
the
they
chat
said
room.
something.
Didn't they say anything?
I didn't hear anything because I was
Ask
waiting
in the
to
chat
see
room.
if
They
it was
might
going to
know.
be like something.
In the chat room, do y'all know what the theme is? If not, we'll just move it on along. But I think y'all probably know because they always know. They know everything. So the person that got eliminated, to reiterate, were DeMarcus and Lindsay and John and Emma. So next week we will be back with another lively episode of Dancing with the Stars here at AfterBuzz TV.
Woo-hoo.
But before we sign off, I just want to make sure that you guys go to that YouTube channel at AfterBuzz TV and that you like and subscribe to the Dancing with the Stars after show. We can also be found on Spotify and iTunes. So give us. I was like, what's that going on?
Love the sound effects.
Hey, give us that love on Spotify and iTunes as well. We love you, and appreciate you for it. So join us, Kayley, Carla with a K, and Carla with a C, next week for Dancing with the Stars after show. I am your host, Carla Renata. You can find me across all social media platforms at The Curvy Critic. You can find me on Sundays at Black Hollywood Live doing Black Tomatoes, a film review show. And right after that, back over here at AfterBuzz for the General Hospital after show. And where can we find you two lovely ladies?
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight on Dances with the Stars Country Night. I'm your host, Karla Beltran. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Kayley Stumpe and check out my podcast, Sex in Studio City.
All right. Well, until next week, people, it's been real. Love, peace, and hair grease, and we will see you next Monday.
Our
Bye.
founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.